Joining us now in the studio is Dr. Eytan Cohen, Yanarocak, Turkey expert, Moshe Dayan Center, Tel Aviv University. And still with us is Dr. Gil Murciano, CEO at Mitvim. Hi.
Yes.
A new Turkish language account. Why?
First of all, I must underline that this step should have been taken, earlier. Turkey is a very important regional player, and we all know that this country is deepening its influence in the whole Middle East. Beforehand, we all witnessed that the IDF launched its Arabic and Persian accounts, and I think this should be, this step should be congratulated, because at the end of the day, the IDF, the Israeli administration, is internalizing that Turkey is a part of the Middle East. And, I really want to break this, prejudice that Turkey belongs to Europe. No, Turkey really belongs to the Middle East, and we should internalize this fact on the ground.
That seems to be becoming increasingly clear.
Indeed, indeed. And, recently, after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, in an, unofficial way, these two countries, Israel and Turkey, they turned into the new neighbors. So it is crucial that the Israeli Defense Forces should explicate and should, make it very clear its intentions towards the Turkish public, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, in Turkey, we are only seeing Israel bashing, only anti-Israel news when it comes to the Turkish language. So it is very crucial to voice a pro-Israel, from our perspective, the real truth on the ground to the Turkish public in their own language. So I think that this should be very much congratulated and very much supported.
And Gil, what would you say Israel is signaling when it chooses to make a step like this? Is it sort of a hats off, we're willing to see you as, we see that you're important, or is it more of a message of like, okay, we see you, we understand what's happening here. After the fall of the Assad regime, you're becoming even more clear in your plans to expand your power, especially in the Middle East, and we're aware of that.
I think there's a great paradox that we see right now between the need, really, to engage when it comes to the policy planners level, the IDF. By the way, we've seen in a higher level, Fidan and MIT, intelligence officers exchanging insights and trying to coordinate on the more, let's call it operational level, operational strategic level, but without, in the same time, while we are having an unprecedented crisis on the interstate level, with features that we've never seen before. My colleague mentioned how Israel is being used in the domestic discussion, political discussion in Turkey, for the first time curtailing economic ties that we've never seen before. So again, we see a situation where the strategic relations between the countries are mostly needed right now. Cooperation about Syria, cooperation about Lebanon, cooperation even about Iran, but the relations... Question is if this action that you congratulated by Arya Shalichar and on the level of the IDF could also be duplicated to the strategic level, to the strategic dialogue between the nations themselves. And that stands in a serious question, because it's about internal political consideration in Israel and in Turkey.
And I want to ask you about this, because under Netanyahu and Erdogan, the relationship has gotten worse between the two countries. Indeed. No doubt. There's the rhetoric has been escalating. But where do we stand right now when we're looking at Egypt, Turkey, and Israel, really?
First of all, let us observe, the common denominators in this relationship. Once we had, bilateral flights from Istanbul to Tel Aviv, today we do not have that. Once we had bilateral trade relations, unfortunately today we cannot see that. No Israeli tourism in Turkey, no Turkish tourism in Israel. Long story short, we do not have people-to-people relations. And when I'm looking at the bilateral relations today, yes, we have an embassy there. Yes, they have an embassy here, but they have only junior diplomats here, and nothing is really done. Okay, so long story short, unfortunately, as long as we have this war going on, and we do not have a permanent ceasefire that really put an end to the fighting in the Gaza, I sincerely can tell you that nothing will happen. But as you know, if a ceasefire will be, a ceasefire deal will be declared, and Israel will declare that the war is over. So in a gradual manner, I assume also because of the pressure from the Trump administration, the relations may be, in a gradual manner, they may be restored.
So I want to ask you about this, because you could also see it as Gaza essentially being an excuse for Erdogan to continue to say how he really feels about Israel and to sever ties. I mean, is there really a chance that does Erdogan have an actual interest in having good and positive ties with Israel?
Not really, I must admit. Yes, not really. In my opinion, the primary objective of preserving the bilateral relations with the State of Israel is to have an access to the Palestinian Authority. We must say, this fact that the Palestinian Authority is a landlocked entity in the West Bank. To reach to the Palestinian Authority, you need to pass from the Israeli land. And therefore, in order not to lose this access also to Jerusalem, but also to the West Bank, and also, if you will declare hostilities against the State of Israel, then you will not be able to also deliver humanitarian aid, or you cannot become a part of the reconstruction of Gaza. So therefore, because of these interests, we can say Turkey still preserves the bilateral relations with the State of Israel, but they already sacrificed 9.5 billion mutual trade volume. So this is a huge number, but they sacrificed it. So, we can be very skeptical regarding their willingness to improve or to, let me say, to mend the fences with Jerusalem.
All right. Hi, Eytan, Yanarocak, Gil Murciano. Thank you very much, both of you, for your input and analysis this evening.